Essentially limitless. There is a limit, but the limit is so high that one station, one company or one entity can now own 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 stations within the same community and dominate it. It's just horrible. It's totally destroyed everything. Anyhow, be careful what you wish for, because in 1991 I got an opportunity to purchase the radio station that I always wanted to own. Did it, and found that it wasn't quite as fun owning a station and being responsible for payrolls and so forth. It wasn't the same as being a DJ or a talk show host. You're responsible for a lot of things. And
believe me, tell me about it. That's why I'm chief cook, bottle washer, everything, and I got a great crew, but it's still torture having to watch everything, tell everybody what to do. A lot of people want to be managers or bosses, and believe me, folks, unless you're a control freak, it's not fun.
Right. Well, after about 6 months, by accident, I don't know how, I happened to find myself on a telephone conversation with a person, a broadcaster, a very successful broadcaster, who it turned out, right then I learned that he had been bidding against me from with the people that I ultimately bought the station from, and I had won out. And when he said that, he said, you know, I don't know how you could pay him. To me, it was a deal of a century that I bought KSCO for. But for him, I overpaid. And he says, I don't know how you're going to make money with that station, but if you ever do, I'm going to want to read your book. Well, I guess I'm ready to write the book, but it's going to be an awful short book. It's only going to be 2 or 3 words. Leverage your audience. If you have an audience that appreciates you and loves you like you do and like we do, if you represent products that you either own or have or a distributor for or so forth, as long as you believe in those products, the people who listen to you, who believe in you, if you say, buy these products, try them out, see if they work as well for you as they do for me, chances are they're going to do it. And if you let them know that it's supporting the broadcast, which is what you do and which is what we do, amazing things happen.
And then all we've got to do morally is pick things to promote that we personally believe in: gold, silver, high-quality nutritional products, the highest quality storable food. All I do is go out and find the best product, then I promote it, and then it's able to fund our message of liberty and freedom and free market, and it wins, wins, wins. And yeah, I've seen radio stations now follow your model all over the country, and they're the only ones that have been successful. You know, there's a station in Kansas City that's had us on, I don't know, for more than a decade, that I know does that as well.
That's KCXL.
They were even able to buy another station and upgrade it and all this by following that model. So here we are, literally giving people silver crosses for the big corporate vampires here, if stations will listen to us. But also listeners. You've had a lot of listeners with the longevity products, with the InfoWarsTeam.com system we've launched. But going back over a decade, I hope you'll tell folks who've really been successful with this. Because, I mean, here's an example. Earlier in the show, I felt absolutely horrible. I hadn't eaten today. I've been up since 6:30. I finally ate. I feel great. I know when I take the longevity tangy tangerine or pollen burst that it gives me incredible energy. I feel great, but I'm such a workaholic, I even forget to do that. I forget to sleep. So it's one thing to know all this. I'm trying to put it into function. It's the same thing for radio stations. They need to go with the model that you've used to sustain themselves by promoting good products and turning themselves into the direct sellers. And they can have advertising on top of it. But the point is, this is a system that will let the mom and pops, but also the big independents, not just survive, but thrive. So tell us about leveraging the audience and what it did for you. In 2001, the company that owned I don't know if I'll mention names here. I don't know if I should do that or not. Just give us the basics. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. A company that was the syndicator of our by far most listened to program, which is a syndicated show, decided to pull the plug on us, not because we weren't doing a wonderful job and not because we weren't being the best affiliate anybody can be, but because that same company owned another station in our market, and the manager of that station was complaining, saying, why in the world, if we own the top syndicated talk radio property in the whole world, should we allow our competitor, that independent over in Santa Cruz, to carry that product when we are the owners of it? And I guess he squawked enough to get the corporate people higher up to say, oh, well, okay, we'll let you have it. Yes, that makes sense, I suppose. And so they gave me the legally required, I think it was 90-day notification that you're going to be losing your affiliate status here, and it's going to a competing station. And I said, okay, look, it's sort of like losing a lease. If you don't own the property, you know, that's just life, you know. But I said, it doesn't make any business sense at all to do what you're doing, because you're going to be going from the station, the station with the strongest signal in the market, AM or FM, bar none, to a station with a pipsqueak signal just because it's owned by your same company. That doesn't make any business sense at all. A lot of the people are not in the market, aren't even going to be able to hear your program anymore. And they didn't listen to me. They did it. Now, under ordinary circumstances, that would have destroyed my station, because taking such a huge chunk of our audience away in one fell swoop would have had devastating consequences. But because I was long into having discovered the leverage your audience notion that I talk about, we don't depend on the sale of advertising. We developed a residual compounding income that started in 1996 when I had this great idea about selling products to our listening audience. They got to be good products, or else they're not going to buy them again. A good salesperson can sell anybody anything once, but if it doesn't measure up, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, forget it.
Well, that's why Ted's gone from probably, in the 50th biggest gold broker and silver broker in the country to now number 5, because he gives great deals and he's been right. So folks would be mad if I said buy gold and it was 300, it's going to go up, and it went down, but it's gone up above 1,800. So folks are like, wow, exactly. My rule is if I buy it and I like it, I promote it. And let me tell you, my family has had the longevity stuff. My wife is addicted to it. It really is incredibly powerful and great. And folks can, by the way, as individuals, sign up and get a discount to be able to buy it even cheaper at InfoWarsTeam.com. And the profit from it also goes to support our broadcast. But then you can start selling it to your friends and family. And this is just old-fashioned business. Or you can just buy the stuff at InfoWarsTeam.com and not sign up like Costco to get the discount. But getting back to this show, they pull your big show, so you launch your own syndicated show. And please continue. I
already had the syndicated show. That's Dead Doctors Don't Lie. That was already in operation for 4 or 5 years when that happened. Long story short here, we did just fine without the major syndicated property.
But you got the big host back anyways, right?
We did get the big host back because they failed on the smaller pipsqueak station.
Okay, well, Michael, we've got a lot of big stations listening, our mom and pops, all the great folks listening. Go through what you would do if you were them when we come back so they can survive and thrive. Oh, we are back live. I don't think I've ever done an hour of radio quite like this, and we'll shift gears into some news and your calls here in a little while. But it was my idea to get Michael Zwirling on. Because, you go to a big radio function, radio managers, owners from all over the country, they want to come over and talk to Michael Zwirling because they know how successful he's been in the ratings, in profits, and, of course, he sells out his advertising, too. And he's got the big audience, and even though they took a big host away from him, he got that big #1 host back years later. But the point is he's been successful. And he sought out my show to put it on air because he was talking to a lot of the big, uppity-ups in radio, saying this is the up-and-coming show, and this is listener-driven. And so I want to encourage listeners, whether you want to make $10 a month or just get discounts on high-quality vitamins and minerals, sign up at Infowars.team.
Infowars Team.
Absolutely. InfoWarsTeam.com. I suddenly can't talk today. InfoWarsTeam.com. But at the same time, when you go to www.Infowars.com, pacman.pt.vu. You can also, again, sign up to become a distributor, an affiliate of it, and you can get big discounts on the products and also sell the products to others. Now, what I've done is I just gave it to family, I guess about 8-9 months ago now, and they're actually smart enough to take it. I've never been a vitamin person, so I'm just not making myself do it, and I feel it every time I do. But to make a long story short, my parents love it. Rob Jacobson loves it. Aaron loves it. My wife loves it. Everybody absolutely loves it. And as always, I want more, more, more. And so now they're actually going and signing up themselves and getting it. So it's very, very exciting, Michael. And that's for everybody to sign up at InfoWarsTeam.com, banners at InfoWars.com. But going back for station owners, station managers that are listening out there, this is great for individuals. But for a radio station, this is something really great because they've got an audience who's going to love the products, who can also become affiliates themselves.
An audience all ready to leverage. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, break it down for folks how you've been successful.
It's real simple, Alex. The smartest thing a radio station, large or small, should do is become an affiliate of the Alex Jones Show. Become an affiliate, which, by the way, is the best kept secret in the broadcast industry. Got to correct you a little bit. I didn't find out about you as the up-and-coming thing from the broadcast industry. You, Alex Jones, are the best kept secret in the broadcast industry, most of which is pretty clueless.
Okay, you just told me that radio exec guy that when you first called me that you really respected.
No, it wasn't a radio exec. It was a radio consultant who said to me, the smartest thing you could do, MZ, is put Alex Jones. I said, Alex Jones, I've interviewed him. He's a great interview. I've had him on my show a couple of times. You're a great interview. And I knew that you had your own show.
In fact, I met that fellow. He'd been a station owner too, correct?
No, never an owner. He was and is a consultant to other radio stations. And he said to me, Michael, you have always been a trailblazer. You're a person who likes to experiment and do things differently. This will be a great thing that if you listen to me, you're going to be very, very happy. Put Alex Jones on your station. We had a slot to fill anyhow because Bill O'Reilly announced that he was leaving talk radio. Sort of like the opposite of Rush Limbaugh. Rush did great in radio and continues, but not too well in television. It's just the opposite with Bill O'Reilly. Did great with television, but not too well in radio. Never got many ratings. So he decided to hang up his guns. And when that was announced, because we were on an affiliate list, every syndicator in the world was calling us saying, what are you going to do at KSCO to replace Bill O'Reilly? And I said, we're going to do something local. And I said, you could hear a thud because no one replaces one syndicated program with local. They go the other direction. But we're just sort of different. Anyhow, Glenn said to me, he said, do you know who the local person is yet? And I said, no. He says, do an experiment like you like to do. Put Alex Jones on and see what happens. You're going to be amazed at what happens. You know, within 2 or 3 days of putting you on as an experiment, I was walking out of the radio station, and a stranger walked up to me and said, are you MZ? And I said, yeah. And he said, he reaches out to shake my hand, and he puts a $100 bill in my hand. And I said, what's this? He says, that's for putting Alex Jones on the radio. I said, it's just an experiment. We don't even know if it's going to be permanent here. He says, the very fact that you put him on for even an hour, you deserve this money. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyhow, really powerful, dramatic stuff. And that was a year and a half before you came and spoke at the Coconut Grove, and people from all over the world. I think the farthest person that I know of who flew in to watch you speak and pay $10.80, or we're at AM 1080 on the dial, so we made the tickets really inexpensive, flew in from somewhere in Ireland to watch you speak. Well,
that's the thing. And I know that's why from insiders at Talk Radio Network, they record my show every day. I've been told from people that work at Talk Radio Network, high level, they record it and it's sent to the head guys, and they're not sure what they're doing with it. And I know Clear Channel keeps tabs on us and things, and I'm not even that good of a talk show host. It's just the information is real, it's powerful, and folks understand that.
If you did a gardening show, it would be the best gardening show. I'm not blowing smoke, Alex. I'm just being truthful. You have passion. You have spirit. You believe. You have truth. You have belief in what you're all about, and that's why you're successful. with or without the broadcasting industry. Now,